Well, this is Barry and Eric again. We're going to do another gun facts right now while we got everything set up. We're going to talk about gun safety. Now, a lot of people have seen us in the videos and all, and we don't practice safety the way we should. And from now on in the videos, when we're out in the field doing something, especially something dangerous, you're going to see us practicing more safety. We've got a lot of young kids watching us on the internet, and I don't want anybody to get hurt. Now, I've been hurt several times in gun accidents and things like that. I got an injury right here I'm going to talk about in a minute. But we're talking about ammo recall. Now, they say lightning does not strike twice in the same place. 5 years ago, a man walked in with a Taurus PT-22 pistol. He wanted me to test fire it. So I picked up a box of Wildcat Winchesters off the shelf and loaded the gun, went out back into our snail that we shoot into. The gun misfired, it snapped. I put another one in, it snapped. I put another one in, on the third shot, the gun exploded. The magazine blew out the bottom, the grips were cracked. I wasn't hurt, I had the gun turned to the side. Now, the Wildcat ammunition, we found out later, had been recalled. The lot number that we had on the shelf was recalled. Apparently the shells were double loaded. Now, 2 days ago, a neighbor had a PT-22 Taurus and some Wildcat ammunition that he had just bought. We took it out in the yard. I was shooting it in this position. When it fired, the shell head exploded, and this piece of metal was up in my knuckle by about an inch. It embedded in my knuckle, and it bled like a stuck hog. So after I got it cleaned out and everything, we were looking at it. Now, a subscriber told me that the current Wildcat ammo is being recalled. What are the odds of the same person grabbing up 2 different guns of the same type and getting 2 recalled ammunition? But that's what happened to me. Always wear eye and ear protection. One of our good customers came in the other day. He lost his right eye because he was shooting a Ruger. I think it was a P95 with some, I don't know what kind of ammo, it might have been a reload, but something went through his eye and put his eye out. He was not wearing safety glasses. Now this guy is 30-something years old and he's going to be blind in one eye for the rest of his life. Eye and ear protection is what you have to stick to, and from now on you're going to see us doing that. Past gun accidents. I've had several accidental discharges in the house with guns. When you play with these guns long enough, when you deal with guns long enough, you become complacent. Never do that. We've got people coming in, customers buying a gun, and they waving the gun around and things like that. Even though we know the gun is not loaded, we know it's not loaded, we're going to treat it as if it is. So we're going to practice safety. I don't want anybody out there to get hurt, and a lot of things that we do in the videos, don't do it. And we're going to tell you not to do it. Everyone is a safety. If you're on a range or you're out shooting with a group of people and you see something going on that's not supposed to be going on, you call a ceasefire immediately. And range is cold, and everybody stops what they're doing, and you find out what's going on. If you're at a range, like you're paying to shoot there, and somebody's acting dangerously, they will take them out of there. Go and get the management, but call a ceasefire first. Shooting gloves. When you're shooting those big guns like the 475s and the 500 line bars, this is very nice to have here. Everybody in that video that shot that 500 got hurt in some way. That gun peeled the hide off my trigger finger. It was recoiled so violently. I shot that gun 10 times and my hand was tender for about a week. And everybody either had sore wrists or something from the 500 line bar. Shooting gloves are very good to have. Indoor range safety, we've already discussed that. Anything going on in a range, you call a ceasefire. Hollywood myths. Now you see people mishandling guns all the time in movies, TV shows, whatever. A classic example that Eric brought up was in True Lies, when she drops the MAC-10 down the stairs and it kills everybody, but she's in a direct line of fire and Jamie Lee Curtis didn't hit one time. That is a Hollywood myth. There's no way that can happen. But you see this going on all the time in Hollywood. But the Hollywood myth thing, but we're getting back to the safety. Always practice safety, folks. Don't take a chance. Even if you're going to fire one more shot and your shooting glasses are in the truck, go get them and put them on. Always be knowledgeable of what you're doing and handle your gun safely. Well, another thing you need to practice too is always be sure of your backstop. Now, shooting through the trees or something like that is not going to stop a bullet. You've got to have a solid backstop. Always practice safety like that. Always know what is beyond where you're shooting. And It's just common sense, folks, is what it really is. But you be sure you backstop. Do not push your finger on the trigger until you are ready to fire. Most guns are drop safe. If you drop a gun that's loaded, like a Glock, a gun like this, whatever, the gun is drop safe. It will not discharge under normal conditions, but you never put your finger on the trigger until you are ready to fire and you are aiming at your target. That is a cardinal rule that I see people breaking all the time at the range. And you have to call them on it. Anybody at a range that steps back beyond that yellow line too, you call a ceasefire. But like I said, be sure you backstop, folks. Be sure your bullet, a 30-06, isn't going to go through the trees and kill somebody 500 yards away. If you're firing on the range and your gun doesn't feel right when you shoot it, not enough recoil, a squib load, or something that if your gun ever doesn't sound like it did the shot before, stop. Check the barrel for obstructions. Be sure you got the proper ammunition in your gun. Clear the weapon first and find out what's going on. If you have a hang fire, do not open the breech immediately. Wait at least 30 seconds before you open that breech because it can fire any time in that time. Ray was on the line shooting that 500 line ball, and that was a scary experience. He had a misfire. Now you're holding this gun like you're holding a wildcat, gripping it tight. He just knew if he released his grip on it, that thing would fire, and it would hurt him real bad. So he held that gun down real tight for about a half a minute, and it turned out the load was just a dud. But whenever you have a hang fire, a squib, anything doesn't feel right, stop. Check your gun. Be sure the barrel's not obstructed, and then you can check your ammunition out or whatever. But we're going to wrap this up with this, and we hope y'all tune in next time for another Gun Facts.